Celeste Rivas' ex-boyfriend speaks out.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Celeste Rivas' ex-boyfriend speaks out, and yes, this is somebody who's actually of age, went to school with her and all that, and he is speaking out for the first time. And one thing that's for sure, and I know a lot of people are asking this question, like, why are they even talking to this guy? You know, if he has nothing to do with her disappearance and blah, blah, blah. Well, honestly, I think the reason why they're doing this is, one, to get a better idea of who Celeste Rivas was before she disappeared, and of course, before she passed away, and also to get a better idea of what this troubled home was really like. Get a semblance of the dynamics that were going on at home, hence the reason why she kept running away so damn much. I think that's what we all want to know. Why did she pick up and kick rocks so much? And then, of course, obviously the other question is, how did she end up in the front trunk of that Tesla? I think we all want to know that part too. But I do think that this interview is very interesting. We are going to look at that very, very shortly. But like I said, I think this gives us more dynamics of who this girl is and, of course, what it was like, what her life was like at home that would inspire her to run. So, of course, this is the kid here. All right. So, again, a California teenager who once dated Celeste Rivas back in middle school is now speaking out, saying she had a troubled home life before running away, saying basically that her mom treated her badly. But, it's all perspective. If you really think about it, it's all perspective if you really think about it. Because, again, she's 13, 14 years old, maybe even 12 years old. You got a girl who wants to live her life. She's young. She wants to do her thing. She wants to bring in her own independence. She wants to be her own person. And I can see how that perspective coming from a 13, 14-year-old or 12, 13-year-old, okay, that perspective is going to be like, mom doesn't understand me. Mom treats me like crap. She's telling her perspective to the ex-boyfriend. You see what I'm saying? So maybe the mom isn't being mean. Maybe the mom is being a little bit hard on her, but maybe trying to protect her. You see what I'm saying? The whole treating her badly can just be a matter of perspective here, okay? But let's continue on. Of course, this is like a yearbook photo of her, and yes, she looks young as all get out, all right? In an exclusive interview with TMZ, 15-year-old Damian Hernandez, no relation to Celeste, okay? And his mother, Jamie, because her name is Celeste Rivas Hernandez as well, okay? And his mother, Jamie, told us about his relationship with Celeste at the Lake Elsinore Middle School. She was in 7th grade and he was in 8th grade. Damian says that he met Celeste when she was looking for something serious, describing her as kind. He says her troubled home life made her unhappy, noting that her mom did not treat her well. Damian said that she talked about running away from her Lake Elsinore home and even joked about it around in school. Then one day, she was gone. There he is. There's Damian. What's more, Damian says he heard about Celeste's alleged relationship with singer David, but was surprised because he thought she was actually happy outside of her home life. And we already know that she was found in the front trunk of this Tesla. And of course, here comes the interview. But I do think this is interesting. But like I said, some people are going to be like, why did they have this interview with this young man? And I think, or this young boy. And I think the reason is solely to get a better idea of who this person is, like who Celeste is, and also to get a better idea about the home life that she had, and also the fact that she said out loud that she was going to run away, that she was saying this to friends. She was saying this out loud. She was prepared to kick rocks. So let's take a listen to this, okay, guys?
Through a friend.
Tell me how that whole relationship started.
I guess she liked me, or she was looking for someone, and yeah, we started talking.
And what school was this in?
Lakeland Village.
Was she sweet? Was she kind? Was she bubbly? What do you remember about her?
She was really kind, and she said she wanted something serious.
And how old were you when you met her?
13 or 14.
So at what point did you feel or did you hear from Celeste that there were problems at home?
She said how her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at.
Did she talk at all about her relationship with her parents?
Kind of. She just said they were mean or whatever. She didn't like them.
And then
Okay, hold on. Now, first off, obviously, I got questions, right? One of the main questions I have is, and like I just said earlier, could she just be saying her perspective? That she's saying that she's coming from, you know, her parents are terrible, they're mean, blah, blah, blah. But what if they weren't mean? Like I said, what if she's not coming from a troubled home, but the trouble is actually coming from her side? I know some people are going to be angry about me saying that, but I'm asking the question. What if she was the troublemaker because she wanted to be free, right? And the two parents were just trying to be parents, right? There could be a tug of war of control over their daughter. She wants to be free. She wants to be, you know, some kids want to grow up so damn fast, right? She's 13 going on 22, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, whoa, we want you to slow down. Stop acting so, stop. Be a kid and do as I say, right? A kid could look at that and go, my parents don't understand me and they're terrible. It's still possible, right? So again, that's just a question and a thought that I have in my mind, okay? But it does give us the conversation that she's having with her friends. I mean, you know, like I said, it is one-sided. That is one side of the coin. There's obviously two, but let's continue.
You guys broke up, and the next thing you know, you find out that she's involved with this internet sensation, David.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna happen, like, at all, because, like, she was always, like, so happy and stuff.
What is your last memory that you have of Celeste?
We were at PE, and she told me and my friend that she was running away, and she said it was because of her parents, and she was, like, joking about it, and she was, like, happy, like, joking like she always was, and, like, it didn't seem real, because, like, she was, like, playing around, joking about it, and the next day she wasn't at school, and, like, that's the last time I saw her.
Yeah. So again, she's saying, hey, I'm gonna run away. And they're like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, ha, 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 you're funny. You know, she's like, I can't take it anymore. I guess I'm just gonna run away. And they're like, yeah, sure. And then the next day, she gone? Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. But the question I want to know, and maybe they're gonna say it here in a second, is did they know she at any time was talking to a guy named David? That's the thing I'd like to know. Was she talking to anybody that they knew about, that she mentioned? Did they know specifically it was David?
Did it break your heart that you were not going to be with her, or did you feel upset about losing the relationship?
Not really. It was kind of clear that we're, like, better as friends, but it was kind of sad that I wasn't able to, like, say goodbye, but, like, see how she was doing, like, when she ran away.
What
That's
was
terrible.
your reaction when you saw the breaking news that they had found your ex-girlfriend's body in the trunk of his car?
My heart dropped. I was like, I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. I kind of had a feeling when I saw, like, the first thing. I was like, what if it is her? But I just, like, brushed it off. But when I saw it really was her, I was like, damn, I really knew.
So let me just make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You had seen the news out of Los Angeles that a body was found in his car.
Yeah.
And you immediately had a sinister thought about Celeste?
Yeah, because one of my friends told me.
Interesting. One of his friends told him. Why?
Were you at home with your mom when they identified Celeste and you saw it all over the news? Can you remember that moment for us?
Yeah, I was on the way to school, and then, like, she just, like, showed me, and, like, I took a picture of it and I sent it to one of my friends, and he's like, yeah, I saw it too, it's crazy.
So again, okay, I have to ask that question again. Why did he know? Why did he have a strange feeling that it was her in the car? That's one thing I'm wondering. I'm assuming the streets were talking. He just said a friend told him that it might be her. Maybe it was her, blah, blah, blah. I mean, because there's plenty of kids that go and run away every single day. So it is pretty wild for them to automatically go, oh, yeah, that must be Celeste in the trunk of the car. That just seems a little bit on the nose, right? So they must have known something, right? They have got to know something, right? Because, okay, that's just a very odd statement, okay? But I guess the streets were talking, right? The kids were talking.
And I just can't believe it.
So this has been the talk of the school.
Yeah.
Just the fact it was someone that my son was so close to at one time and how everything happened, it's kind of scary. It's really close to home. And if it could happen to her, it could happen to anyone. And
no doubt.
Everyone just needs to be very careful on social media.
What about you? What do you think about at night when this kind of flashes through your mind?
I just think, like, if someone actually, like, did something, like when she said she was going to run away, because I feel like no one cared.
So again, shout out to TMZ for this interview. Of course, I think that I don't think there's any huge bombshells to take from this, unless there are more questions in this interview that we haven't seen yet. Maybe this is a part 1 or something like that. But I'd want to know more. Like, did they know that she was talking to a guy named David? And if they did, how did they find out? Was it her that was talking to them? So on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot that's going on in this interview that I'm like, okay, it's scratching the surface. We get a better idea about, let's just say, the dynamics of home. But it's only one-sided, just so you know. To me, I still think that she was, I still think that she was a little bit of a rebel. And I mean by, like, wanting to get her independence. And I think that's one of the reasons why she and her family were butting heads. And maybe that's the reason why it was a troubled home. I feel like if there was DV involved in the family, I think we would have heard that by now. But no one said that so far. I think she wanted her independence really, really bad. And I think it had something to do with David talking to her online, influencing her in the worst way possible. And again, her living in a specific type of, let's just say, financial situation in comparison to David's situation. I mean, it's a lot more attractive over there on the David side, right? Huge mansion, nice cars, celebrity, Hollywood Hills. It's a little bit more attractive, right? So I could see that too. But like I said, I think this is a very interesting interview. Thanks to TMZ for getting this interview. But what say you guys? What are your thoughts? Do you think that there was big bombshell information in here? Or do you think that there's, we just get a little bit more insight, a sprinkling, if you will, on what kind of person Celeste was before she actually ran away and then, of course, lost her life? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. And we'll talk here soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.